Greetings. I would like to thank His Holiness Pope Francis and the organizers of this important summit and His Excellency Bishop Sanchez Sorando for this great honor. Greetings also to all my sister judges from Africa and other countries who are present here today. And special thanks also to Gabriela and Stefania Marino for all their great work. I would also like to thank our wonderful interpreters and all our technicians who are working hard behind the scenes to make this event happen. So please give them a big hand. I'm going to start by showing you a brief public education awareness video that we made in San Diego to educate the public.
It's definitely happening in San Diego County. Sadly, we were first really alerted to this in 2003 when the FBI issued their report that put San Diego as one of the top 13 cities for child prostitution.
Certainly the scale of what's happening here is surprising. At an $810 million a year industry, it's the second largest underground economy next to drugs, which is considerably larger, and just above the illegal trade in guns.
Now we know that children usually don't drive, they don't own money, they can't rent their own hotels and motels, and they can't post ads that advertise them for sex. That immediately told us that there is organized trafficking activity in San Diego County. And that's when we all started as law enforcement to look closely to see what is going on, because this crime thrives by being hidden, basically hiding in plain view.
The very visible public exploitation, sexual exploitation is going on, has morphed into indoors because of the online trafficking that is occurring. So we've learned about mobile brothels, sex being sold in middle-class neighborhoods, in purchased or rented homes, in gated communities, and in our hotel industry in San Diego. So we learned from the arrests in East County back in late 2014 that over 100 victims that were found in a 2-year investigation were being recruited in area middle and high schools. And our research confirms that that kind of recruitment is indeed happening all over the county.
We are seeing this in every community. So it is no longer, like I say, there is no family that's truly immune from this.
We made this video to educate our San Diego community about what's happening in our county. And we also have a team of judges and attorneys, and we start from elementary schools. We go to schools and we educate the children about what's happening in our community so that they do not become victims. We all know what human trafficking is. It is modern slavery. Human trafficking is a crime under the international laws, also the US federal laws and state laws. Under the law, the person is guilty of human trafficking if he or she recruits, transports, or delivers a person for sex trafficking, and does this by coercion, force, or deception, and does this for the purpose of sex slavery or labor slavery. Two of the most severe forms of human trafficking are labor and sex trafficking, and also we do have organ trafficking as the third form. San Diego is ranked in the top 8 cities in sexual exploitation of children. This is an $810 million industry, as second only to drug trafficking. In San Diego, we have 8,830 to 11,773 victims of sex trafficking per year. These are the statistics. As you can see, we have not had too many arrests in San Diego because the victims are afraid to come forward. In 2019, the most recent statistics show that we had 55 convictions. If you think about it, almost 11,000 victims, 55 convictions, and another 42 cases that are pending. In January 2017, a prosecutor's office in San Diego and Los Angeles conducted a sweep called Operation Reclaim and Rebuild for the 3rd year in a row. The way they did this was prosecutors put fake advertisements on internet and offered sex for money. And when people showed up to buy sex, they were arrested. The goal is to disrupt the demand. So they are going after the organized crimes and also sex users. Unfortunately, human trafficking is increasing in San Diego County because it runs on a renewable funding source. It has low risk and high yield. It is lucrative because they can sell the girls or boys multiple times, and there is an endless pool of victims. And it's easy to recruit the girls and boys over the internet. The criminals, who are often gang members, use the social media and internet to recruit the girls or boys. They romance them and become their boyfriends, and then abuse them and put them to work. They use internet to post their prostitution advertisements. For example, as Judge Burke said, Backpage.com is one of them. And then we also have Craigslist. So they use the internet to solicit sex. We have to educate our communities about human trafficking. We have to teach them about human trafficking law, teach them how to identify the trafficking victims, and teach them how to deal with trafficking victims and where to direct victims to get help. This is a picture of a community group on the streets of San Diego with loudspeakers educating their community about human trafficking. The sign reads, "Humans are not for sale, and stolen people, stolen dreams." We have to learn how to deal with the victims. We have to understand that that is a very long process to create a safe environment, build trust, and break the cycle of sex trafficking with the victims. It is extremely difficult for the victims to come forward because most of them do not consider themselves as victims. Some victims do not think there is a way out, so they do not come forward. Our goal is to bring them from victims to survivors and teach them how to get treatment and live a productive life. We try to educate our community on how we can identify the victims. The advertisement says, "Look beneath the surface." Victims of human trafficking may look like many of the people you see every day. Report human trafficking. Most victims are runaways or homeless children. They often have signs of physical and psychological abuse. They're often accompanied by someone who seems controlling or abusive. They ask for permission to eat, sleep, or go to bathroom. They do not know where they are geographically. The stories do not add up. They have signs of trauma, fatigue, injury, and poor health. They are withdrawn and afraid to talk and are concerned and censored if they do talk. They have no freedom of movement. They work and live in the same place. They owe a debt to the employer. They don't have access to their identification documents or passports. They are not allowed to contact with others or are controlled. The victims are often branded with tattoos. The picture says, "You pay me." The other says, "I," name of the person, "am the property of Shaft," who is the criminal. All those who come in contact with me are in debt to him. This is another picture of tattoos. Property of Matt Lyons. This is another one. There are new laws in California as of 2017. The law dealing with minors and prostitutions have changed. Minors are no longer arrested or charged with a crime if they are believed to be victims of trafficking. Instead, they are given treatment and training. We do not want to victimize them again by charging them with a crime and putting them in prison. And the law also creates a path to vacate their past convictions. We have created specialty courts for human trafficking for adults in New York and children in California and other states. In California, juvenile human trafficking courts are called RISE. RISE stands for Resiliency is Strength and Empowerment. The purpose is to better address the needs of those children. RISE Court is a collaborative court modeled after the drug courts, where the judges, prosecutors, public defenders, probation officers, child welfare services all come together in one room to discuss how they can help a specific juvenile by designing a treatment program that fits the history of that child victim. The juvenile has to show up in court once a week and report on the treatment programs the child has attended. Once the child graduates and completes the program, the charges against that child are dropped and all criminal history is expunged. This is a trauma-informed court that uses multidisciplinary approach to address the needs of a specific child individually. We have advertisements for people to call a national trafficking hotline to report human trafficking. There are organizations that house victims. I don't know what happened. There are organizations that house victims and provide psychological and other treatment. We go into the community and educate the public, the kids, and the parents in schools. We encourage everyone to see the documentary called A Path Appears to educate the community, and you can also Google that. We also have created a court clergy conference in San Diego County where the judges get together with the leaders of clergy from different faiths, Christians, Jews, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, Baha'is, Zoroastrians, and all other religions, and educate the clergymen and women on human trafficking and other laws so that they could in turn help their faith-based community. Thank you for this great honor.